from now or from this morning to tomorrow, the big day, what are some of the things we are supposed to do?
All right, so our officers have been in Tamale the whole of this week. Some of us joined yesterday. There's been a number of activities we've engaged in just to sensitize the people and create awareness about the upcoming historic program. So yesterday we went to Lamashegu.
You are in
Tamale
Lamashegu. You are in Lamashegu.
Okay.
This is Tamale South.
It was a big community engagement we had there. Very successful. From there we went to Tamale Central, and from Tamale Central to Tamale North, the biggest one. As late as 11 p.m. the people were still there waiting for us, and we had a very exciting engagement. I have been shocked, because I've been coming to Tamale very often, by the kind of enthusiasm and energy I see amongst the people. It's nothing like I've seen before, and that is very refreshing and encouraging for me. It tells me that Tamale is ready for change. Tamale is ready for a total reset. Tamale is ready for a 24-hour economy policy. Tamale and the northern regions of Ghana are ready for a women's development bank. They are ready for a new paradigm shift in the leadership of this country. They are ready to kick out this group of looters, this nation-wrecking, inept, insensitive, reckless, irresponsible, corrupt, and nepotistic Akufo-Addo Bawumia MPP government, and bring into office a new crop of leadership, a nation builder who they can trust, a man of vision, a man of integrity, a man of experience, a man who has done it before and can't do it again, by bringing us out of the mess we have been plunged into by Bawumia and his group of incompetent economic mismanagers. So yesterday was very exciting. Today we will continue the engagements later in the evening, but even before that, I know that the region has slated a float around 4 p.m. So we're going to move with a motor convoy through the main streets of Tamale as part of the sensitization campaign.
I see.
We want the whole of Tamale to come out, because your son, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is coming back home tomorrow. The program is 12 p.m. If I were you, I will come early, because if you come late, you will not get it. If you come at 12, you may not get a place to stand. If you come at 12, you may not get a place to sit. And if you come at 12, you may not get a t-shirt. So I would suggest that you come early. Let's make John Mahama proud. Let's make NDC proud. Let's make Ghana proud. And John Mahama is not coming alone. He's coming with our mother, Obatampa, the first female vice president to be, inshallah, come 7th January 2025. Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman is coming to Tamale tomorrow. General Mosquito will be in town. Fifi Kwete will be in town. All of us will be in town. The minority leader, Dr. Atofosin, will be in town. Lawyer Duna is already in town. Honorable Suhini is already in town. Honorable Mutala Mohammed is already in town. So it's going to be exciting. And we're having our executives, our MPs, our leaders coming from all the 15 other regions of Ghana. So the entire Ghana is coming to Tamale, and there's a program which will be live on all major stations across the length and breadth of Ghana. So we will be making history, and I want you who is listening to me this morning in the comfort of your home or in your car or at your workplace, please be part of this history. Don't be left out. The time is 12 p.m. sharp. Police Park, people call it the Jubilee Park. Come before 12, and let's have an exciting time. Let's share with you John Mahama's transformational agenda for Ghana, John Mahama's message for hope, and you will see your part in that message, for which reason you must vote for change for our nation to be reset.
All right, great to hear that. Now we'll get back to that as we wrap up. Now the NDC as a political party has introduced several major policies ahead of the 2024 general elections. I want us to take them one after the other, because I do recall that yes, there's a 24-hour economy. There's issue of scrapping of ex gratia payments. We'll have to elaborate that. Talking about reduction in government size, which is one of the important things that people are looking up to. We also look at auditing of the COVID expenditure. It's one of the critical areas that I've heard the flag bearer also talk about. We've heard about the enhancement, or if you want, enhanced engagement with civil society, which the NDC has also promised. They talk about improvement of media tolerance. We want to, that's going to be an exciting point. But let me just start with this aspect. Let's start on the issue of the economy. What are the NDC's plans for improving the economy and also creating jobs for the people of this country?
Well, these are two major issues that you've combined.
Economy and
jobs. Which one should I start with, economy or jobs?
Economy.
Okay. I'm happy we are starting with economy, because that is the foundation of everything. Without a sound economy, nothing will work, nothing will get done. You see, the truth of the matter, irrespective of your political affiliation, you know that this is the truth. And that truth is that our economy today is in a total mess. Ghana's economy today is in a state of total bankruptcy. I'm not the one saying it. The IMF has said it, the World Bank has said it, and the government has admitted. And that is why today we have defaulted on our debt obligations. We can't service our debts. Why? Because Bawumia decided to borrow recklessly. When they were coming into office, our public debt was 120 billion cedis. Today, our public debt has risen to 742 billion cedis. What that means is that they alone have added 622 billion cedis to the public debt. That is close over 80% of the public debt accumulated by them. Imagine, from Nkrumah to the Kutuka, FIFA, Kufu, Champo, Yela Liman, Jerry John Rawlings, Kofor, Atamil, John Mahama, all the total public debt of Ghana, was 120 billion. And they said John Mahama had borrowed too much. They said we don't have to borrow to develop Ghana. But Bawumia said he's worked at the Bank of Ghana before. He knows the money is here. He says we don't have to borrow for roads. We just have to tow the roads and we'll be able to raise money to build all the roads we need. He said, that was Okufuado. They said all manner of things. Today, they have borrowed recklessly, excessively. Our public debt has ballooned from 120 billion to 742 billion. And the worst part of it is that we can pay. That is what has destroyed investor confidence in the economy. That is why investors have taken their monies out. That is why we can't go on the capital market or the Eurobond market to borrow in dollars again. That is why no nation wants to loan us money, because today we are going cap in hand from one creditor association to the other, begging for debt relief. Can you imagine? A middle income country that left HIPIC about 20 years ago, 2 decades ago. We are back there. That is how they have destroyed this economy. And this economic bankruptcy we've been plunged into by Bawumia is marked by many things. Number one, high inflation, high cost of living. Times have become so tough and difficult for the people of this country, such that today people are struggling to make ends meet. People wake up without knowing where the next meal will be coming from, because you can't even buy a ball of kinky. Today, a gallon of diesel, which used to be sold at 14 cedis under Mahama, today is going for almost 70 cedis. Can you imagine? A bag of cement, which used to be sold for about 24, 27 cedis under Mahama, today is being sold for 100 cedis and above. I don't know the price in Tamale, but in Accra is 108 Ghana cedis. It is the same for tomatoes. In Accra, we used to buy a bucket of tomatoes at 8 cedis under Mahama. Today we are buying that bucket at 120 cedis and above. So you've seen prices gallop, in some cases by 200%, 300%, 500%, 600%. Is Ghana Syria? Are we a war-torn country? You check all our neighbors, Burkina, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, even though they have their own challenges, none of them are facing this problem of economic bankruptcy marked by high inflation, hardships. Today you need almost 16 cedis to get $1, whereas the dollar was being sold for 4 cedis 20 pesos under Mahama. That was the highest it went up to 4 cedis 20 pesos. Today almost 16 cedis under the man whose wife told us is an economic wizard. The man that Akufo-Addo said is the paragon of all economic wisdom, the answer to our economic woes, and that he was bringing him to come and stabilize the city. And the man who told us that if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. He said that someone was incompetent and he is competent. He had the magic wand to transform Ghana. Today look at the dollar and look at the cascading effect that is having on all prices. Look at the CFA. For most of our mothers who are engaged in trading, they deal with the CFA. You know, and in 2016, it will interest you to know that you needed 6,500 to get 1 million CFA in 2016 under Mahama. 6,500 for 1 million CFA. Today, you need over 27,000 cedis to get the same 1 million CFA. So traders are suffering, teachers are suffering, students are suffering, nurses are suffering, midwives are suffering, doctors are suffering, the boys are suffering, the girls are suffering. Everybody is suffering. The farmers, everybody.
This is your own rendition.
Oh yes, because that is a reality. That is a reality. If you go on the streets today for a vox pop, you will get the same sentiment. Times are tough. So President Mahama is saying we need to fix the mess. How do we fix the mess? By ensuring that we borrow responsibly, and that we don't waste borrowed funds on consumption. They borrowed, you know, in 8 years, Mills and Mahama borrowed on the Eurobond market $4 billion. They, in 6 years, borrowed $13 billion on the Eurobond market.
But the argument is that they are into prudent borrowing.
Why can't they why can't they pay that debt if they are into prudent borrowing?
They said because we are unable to service our debt simply because we were hit with a pandemic. As a result of that, we were never out of it, and then we had the issue of Ukraine-Russia war, which also impacted seriously on us because we paid free water, there was free electricity, and so on.
Okay, so did COVID affect only Ghana?
No, COVID has affected other countries. Though, I mean,
hold on. Did COVID affect Cote d'Ivoire?
Yeah.
Burkina?
Of course.
Okay. So how come Cote d'Ivoire is not bankrupt? They are still servicing their debt. Russia-Ukraine war, didn't it affect all these countries?
But have we varied the impact in some of these countries comparatively to Ghana? Because currently Nigeria, as we know, the inflation rate in Nigeria is nothing to write home about. It's also in crisis.
Is Nigeria a bankrupt country?
Well,
have they defaulted on their debt obligations?
They are benefiting from oil. So
is the Ghana cedi performing any better against the naira of Nigeria? The cedi is the third worst performing currency in Africa out of 54 countries. Third worst performing currency. So it cannot be those flimsy excuses. No, the problem is mismanagement. The problem is their recklessness, and the problem is the plain thievery of public resources. Nigeria has not wasted $58 billion on a cathedral of lies. We have.
You've heard the complaints that are coming from Nigeria. Let's go step by step. As we speak, Dangote is in crisis, and they are talking about how it messed.
Since the days of Adam, men have always been in crisis. But all crises are not the same. Nigeria is in crisis, but they are still able to pay their debt. They have never recorded inflation of 54% than we recorded in 2022. Their naira never depreciated by 54%. Like the Ghana cedi depreciated by 54%.
Our inflation is moving down to a single digit because we are now in the 20s.
So if you are around 23%, are you close
by December? By December,
single digit is 9 and below.
They said by December.
So if you are 24, you are nowhere close to single digits. So what is the point here? The point is that COVID cannot be the reason. Even before COVID, the economy was in a mess. I'm not saying it. The NPP themselves said it. That is why in 2019. Even before COVID struck us in March 2020, in 2019, they formed a 40-member Forex committee made up of Franklin Kudjo and the likes to investigate the causes of the depreciation of the city. That was before COVID.
Yeah, that's true.
Haven't you heard the World Bank country director Mr. Laporte said that Ghana's economy shows signs of serious challenges even before COVID. It's Laporte to an NDC member. You understand? So it's clear they had messed up the economy, and we told them that the rate at which you are borrowing, the rate at which you are stealing, the rate at which you are wasting money. In one day, they went for a cabinet retreat at Peduase and spent 4.8 million cedis on one cabinet meeting. 19 cabinet ministers and the president and vice. That's 48 billion cedis wasted on one meeting. 2022 CISMA, they went to Cape Coast. In one day, they spent 100.9 million cedis. That's 109 billion cedis. One day, Independence Day celebration. They spent in 9 months at the presidency 15.6 million cedis, equivalent to 156 billion cedis, on car tires and batteries. That is how wasteful they have been. They have deceived the people of this country that they are building a house for God, and they have stolen money in the name of God under the pretext of building a house for God. Such that today, if you go to Accra, you will see the biggest hole in the whole world, and that hole has cost the poor taxpayer over $58 million in cities, over 1 billion Ghana cedis. That is why we are in this mess. A few people, a family and friends and cronies of Bawumia, his brothers who today are being dashed, road contracts here and there. The Chedi Mafia clique of Akufo-Addo, the Furiates and Adodankwes. Today Akufo-Addo's daughter's baby father has been given a contract of $34.9 million to supply spare parts for ambulances, 307 ambulances, and that translates into $113,000 per ambulance in terms of spare parts. The cost of spare parts for one ambulance under Akufo-Addo and Bawumia is more expensive than the ambulance itself, because with $113,000 you can buy a brand new 2024 ambulance from Mercedes-Benz. You see how wicked they are. They are not thinking about you and I. They don't care about the people of this country. They don't care about the women who go to Tamale Teaching Hospital and there are no beds for them to sleep on, and they sleep on bare floors. They don't care that Tamale Teaching Hospital doesn't even have an MRI machine. They don't care that we don't have adequate dialysis machines in our hospitals. They don't care that even children don't have childhood vaccines. They don't care. They simply don't care about anybody. They simply came to steal, to kill, and to destroy. That's why they have collapsed businesses, the microfinance, the savings and loans, the banks. And today the workers are sitting home, no jobs. They have destroyed Ghana's economy. And that is why we must vote for change, for John Mahama to fix this broken economy by ensuring that we borrow responsibly and we don't waste borrowed funds on consumption. Once upon a time, they borrowed money and decided to throw a Kenke and Wachi party to celebrate that. They borrow and spend it on consumption. They don't invest it for future generations. They don't invest it in self-financing projects that can pay for the loans. So today we can pay for our debt. John Mahama would do differently, and he has done it before. We built the best airports in West Africa. Terminal 3. John Mahama built it. And he built it by not even taking a loan in the name of Ghana, by just supporting the Ghana Airport Company to take a loan on the strength of their own books, their own balance sheet. He built the second largest port in the whole of West Africa, the Tema Port. The man who built the biggest factory in Ghana, the Tuabo Gas Processing Plant, $1 billion. The man who built the hospitals, Ridge Hospital, Tamale Teaching Hospital Phase 2, Tamale Airport Phase 1. That is the man we are talking about. He is a nation builder, and he is going to borrow for investments and not consumption. And he is coming to reduce hardships by, number one, reducing the many taxes Bawumia has heaped on us. He is going to scrap COVID levy. He is going to scrap e-levy. He's going to scrap betting levy. He's going to scrap the emissions levy to reduce the tax burden on us, to reduce our plight, and to make sure that Ghanaians are able to make ends meet. But above all, aside fixing this economy through prudent economic management that ensures that we borrow responsibly and spend within our means and not spend recklessly, John Mahama is going to ensure that we have a 24-hour economy where there is round-the-clock work like it pertains in the advanced jurisdictions. Under the 24-hour economy, my brother, human beings will sleep, but the economy will never sleep, because we are going to be productive. We are going to also be increasing production. How? We are dividing the 24 hours into 3 shifts of 8 hours each.
And that's the journey into the job creation.
That is it. Because we cannot create decent, sustainable work for the young people to do if we stick to the traditional 8-hour work shift system. No, it's simply inadequate. And we cannot come out from the economic quagmire, this deep hole that Wumi has plunged us in, if we are going to just work 8 hours. No, we can't be lazy. We need to work hard. We need to work 24 hours. And so the 24-hour economy will apply to public institutions, especially those with huge customer traffic, like DVLA, passport office, POS, and so on. Private companies, private factories, manufacturers, the cleaning companies, as the waste management companies, the pharmaceutical companies are all going to be supported with tax incentives, with financing support, and with cheaper power to reduce their cost of production and encourage them to run 24/7. And more importantly, we're going to support them with security to be able to operate within a secured environment, so that nobody is afraid of working in the night. And this is going to revolutionize the economy. It's going to increase productivity. It's going to increase production. It's going to lead to decent, well-paying, sustainable jobs for especially the youth. Students will find vacation jobs under the 24-hour economy. The young people sitting home will find jobs. Those who have been to school, those who have not been to school, they will all find jobs, because there will be the National Apprenticeship Program for young men who are energetic and want to learn a trade. We will resource them with the needed equipment. And there will be the Women's Development Bank, a bank run by women and for women, a bank where only women will be working and their customers will only be women. So women will be bank managers, directors, board members, staff members, cashiers, security personnel, all women. And if you're a man, that bank will not give you a loan, only women. And when we say women, the hawkers are part. Those who are selling on top of their head, those who are selling on the streets, our mothers, the traders, they are part. Those who are opening companies and various businesses, even the young ladies.
So purely is centered on women empowerment.
Yes, and we are targeting a minimum of 1 million women across the length and breadth of Ghana. We're going to have branches of this bank everywhere. You have branches in Tamale. They will be in the markets, easily accessible, so that our mothers who want loans, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, you go, you get a loan, cheap interest rate, very affordable, with flexible conditions in terms of collateral and the rest. So that is what John Mahama stands for: jobs, jobs, and jobs. And that is why we are going to implement this 24-hour economy. It will create jobs in the public sector and the private sector. We are doing this Women's Development Bank to empower a minimum of 1 million women. We are also going to train 1 million young people in coding and other digital models. So you have young people who are going to school today, they don't have jobs. We are teaching you IT coding, and they can work in Ghana and even for global firms. We are also investing, John Mahama said it, is that you invest $3 billion in ICT, and that is going to create over 300,000 jobs in that area alone. We are coming to revolutionize agriculture by establishing farming service centers.
So just like I said, we'll take them bit by bit.
So all these things are going to create jobs. You see, when you talk about jobs,
it's broad.
It's broad.
Okay, so now let's look at the health sector. Yeah. What measures the NDC will take to improve healthcare services and even the infrastructure? Okay.
Now, health is going to be a very important pillar of our manifesto. Because without a healthy populace, you can't have a 24-hour economy. Everything I've said here depends on health. Without health, if you were not in good health today, you will not be seated here interviewing me. Same applies to me and all of us. So health is important. Any nation that neglects its health sector doesn't have a future. That is why under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, you saw significant improvements in the area of health. You saw the regional hospital we built in Greater Accra region, Ridge Hospital, 420 bed. You saw the University of Ghana Medical Center, 612 bed, the best hospital in the whole of West Africa. It's the first quaternary hospital in Ghana. That's why we built the Upper West Regional Hospital. Of course, Kufuor started the processes, but we came and completed it. We built the Upper East Regional Hospital. You understand? We did Tamale Teaching Hospital Phase 2. We did a lot of district hospitals across the length and breadth of Ghana. Dodowa Hospital. So many, Mena, Kumawu, Abetifi, plenty. You know, most of these projects today have been abandoned. They have been left to rot. Government promised Agenda 111 in 1 year. It's been 3 years, and they are saying they will finish next 2 years. In 8 years, this government, led by Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, cannot point to one district hospital that they started and they have completed. Not even one. Yet I can cite not just district hospitals, not just polyclinics, not just cheap compounds, but real regional hospitals and so on, quaternary hospitals and so on. So look, John Mahama is coming back to invest in health infrastructure. But not just that, he's coming back to fix the broken National Health Insurance Scheme. Today, health insurance is not working. Health insurance is not working. You go to hospital, even paracetamol, they will tell you to go and buy, because even with government is owing the service providers and government is not paying. Even with the
of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia that they have digitalized the process to make it easy for clients.
Now, but if you digitalize the process,
now you can even
digitalize the process, but you have capped health insurance levy, and instead of you using the levy, the taxes we all pay to resource the fund, you have capped it and you are using it on useless things, consumption. That is what Akufo-Addo uses to rent his private jets that he says he baths in the sky. And today, in spite of your so-called digitalization, hospitals are turning NHIS card holders away. They are telling them the card doesn't apply because government owes us several months of arrears. What is the essence of that? So health insurance has collapsed. And John Mahama is saying, no, we are going to remove that capping policy. We will abolish that capping policy, so that the taxes we pay, NHIL 2.5%, we will channel that into the scheme to improve quality healthcare delivery. So that is what we're going to do on health too. There are a number of policies under the health sector that in our manifesto you'll be hearing. For example, we intend to set up, John Mahama already spoke about it in 2020, a cancer and kidney disease trust fund.
Yeah, I heard that.
And because that is a major problem today. We only have 4 MRI machines in the whole Ghana. Can you believe it? If you have an accident right now and you have to go for an MRI scan, the whole Ghana 4. You understand? The hospitals are starved of basic equipment.
But what
for
about
dialysis and for all these?
So I was going to ask you on the dialysis, because it has become a concern to
no.
the people.
There are certain things that we just want to wait for the manifesto launch and wait for the flag bearer to announce first. But we've thought about all these things, and you're going to see health policies aimed at improving, treatment of chronic diseases, cancer, kidney diseases and so on.
There'll be way forward of making them part of the health insurance.
Exactly. So we are going to improve health insurance and make it work. We are going to take away the capping policy. We're going to invest in health infrastructure, and you know that that's for John Mahama. He's the infrastructure king. So if you want to see a hospital, you want to see the polyclinics again, you want to see the chip compounds again, then your surest bet is none of that.
So now,
than the nation dollar His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
That's great. Let's move into education.
Yeah.
You know, the one of the strongest unit for the NPP is the Free Senior High School. What are some of the strategies, or what strategies does the NDC really have to enhance the quality of education, especially under this Free Senior High School policy that is already operational? There are a lot of challenges. If you go to my own school, like Ghana School, you realize that there are a lot of challenges that children are facing, especially the senior high students, both even with access and also with even the financial cost. Though government says that school fees is not being paid, they are attending free, they are eating free. The eating free is one thing to talk about. What will the NDC do different beyond even the Free Senior High School?
Okay, so number one, the Free Senior High School is a very good policy that the NDC envisioned, and the drafters of the Constitution captured in the 1992 Constitution, specifically under Article 25. President Mahama started it progressively in 2015 for day students, and even gave bursaries to the boarding students. So, for example, in 2016, no continuing day student paid school fees. They only paid PTA levies of 20 cedis. They didn't pay school fees. President Mahama ensured that was absorbed for continuing day students. It was only the first years who had to make some purchases, uniforms, clothes, and all that. Now, the NPP came and continued the policy by expanding it to cover boarding students. But they also did it progressively, because they started with the first years. For the first year, 2017, before they added the second years, during the second year, and then in the third year of the government, they added the third years. And that expansion, which they did progressively, was a good thing. However, they were supposed to invest in infrastructure alongside affordability. But the infrastructure aspects suffered. So we were confronted with a huge spatial constraint by 2019, 2020. And that is what led to the dreaded double track system, the traffic light system. That today, the kids go to school for 1.5 months and they come and sit home for so many months. You know, that is what has led to the funding challenges for the policy. All the parents and headmasters complaining because they don't get their releases on time. Even food for the children to eat is a problem. Even where they will sleep, the dormitories, the beds are not there.
Yeah.
The dining halls today, they are running shifts in dining halls. The dormitories are choked, the classrooms are choked, even with double track. So President Mahama is saying that he is coming to continue free. He is coming to continue free SHS, but he is coming to improve it and make it better. How is he going to make it better? He's going to create a dedicated source of funding for free SHS by making sure that the funding sources doesn't become irregular. There must be a clear source of funding that makes the policy sustainable. He's also saying that we need to abolish double track. This traffic light system will not help our case. And the way to abolish it is to embark on an emergency infrastructure drive, build a lot of classroom, dormitories, assembly halls, school facilities, and even leverage the facilities of private schools so that we can eradicate double track within our first year. Then the feeding, we are going to decentralize it for the headmasters to get the monies directly and purchase the foods from their districts. That is even going to boost the local economies of those districts.
Yeah.
And it is going to make it easy for the students to get good food, because now the NPP has centralized food procurement in Accra. They
Through
do
the buffer stock.
And that is where the corruption is happening. And look at the quality. I'm sure you've seen the documentary done by Joy News on the poor quality. The kind of food that our children are being fed with, it is an eyesore. So great policy, but serious challenges. And John Mahama will fix the challenges, and more importantly, enhance the quality of education. At the basic level today, government owes capitation grants for the basic school children, primary JHS, for 8 terms. We've neglected basic education. 8 terms they owe capitation grant. 8 terms. 8 terms, that is 2.5 years, almost 3 years they haven't paid. How are the headmasters running this?
So now concentration is
and
going
we have
to
introduced a new curriculum without textbooks, and that is the foundation. If you don't fix that,
But we are seeing figures of how, I mean, the amounts government is pumping into education. Where is it going?
But it is not enough, because if it were enough, we will not be having these challenges. We will not be having these arrears of capitation grants. We will not. And now look at the tertiary institutions, even worse. The cost of hostel accommodation today in the universities, the colleges, you can't even imagine. So outrageous. The school fees is going up, accommodation is going up. So today, many young people gain admission and they can't go to school. It's even like the free SHS. Many students gain admission, but because of the high cost of prospectus, the first years they have to get between 5,000 to 10,000 to be able to buy the things on the prospectus, and some parents are not able to afford it. So according to EduWatch, between 2019 and 2022, 194,000 students could not honor the admissions. 194,000, can you imagine? Because their parents could not afford the high cost of prospectus. So John Mahama is coming to take away these barriers, and we are going to improve the quality of education at the basic level, secondary level, and at the tertiary level. At the tertiary level, we are going to cushion parents. In the 2020 manifesto, we had this change per 50-50 policy, where we're going to absorb 50% of the school fees of the first years as a result of COVID. There may not be that same policy in this one, but there will be something similar in the manifesto. And that is why you must come to the Tamale Jubilee Park, formerly known as Police Park, tomorrow at 12 p.m. for this program, because you are going to hear more about these transformational policies, these messages of hope that John Mahama.
If you can use a minute to explicate on the private sector, the private schools, with collaboration between the and the government under the free senior high school, because currently there are a lot of them who are completely shut down.
So you see, the private schools were totally neglected in the implementation of free SHS. But these are Ghanaians who have created businesses to help society. Why collapse their businesses? So because they are employing people, they are creating jobs. When you decide not to give them some of the free SHS students, you are telling them to lay off workers, administrative staff, teachers, and so on. So we are saying that, look, if for nothing at all, you have double track, and the double track, common sense will tell you, it's a spatial problem. You don't have space. You don't have enough classroom blocks. You don't have enough dining halls. But the private schools, some of them have better facilities than the public schools. So we are going to take the facilities of the private schools and attach them to the public schools. So for example, take Tamale. What is the biggest secondary school here? Tamasco. So take Tamasco. Let's say Tamasco will have a capacity of, say, 1,000 students, for example, okay? And Tamasco is doing double track. But there may be a private secondary school in Tamale or this enclave, okay? So we take the facilities, the classroom blocks, the lab, we take all that and we attach it to Tamasco. So that instead of having...
Our own is Tamasco.
You
are using Tamasco.
Okay. Sorry for that. So instead of having double track, Tamasco will have, say, Lameshigu campus.
Okay.
A satellite campus.
You decentralize.
You decentralize it. So one school, one management, one same system, but they have another facility here that the children can go in. You understand? And that will mean that we will employ more teachers. We employ more administrative staff, so more jobs. But we are eradicating double track so that the children can go to school. 3 months they are in school learning. Not you should go for 1 month, 2 weeks, and then they overload you with information. Then you come and stay home for about 2 months, and then go for a few weeks, and they say the term is over. No, we are going to leverage the facilities of the private institutions, and we are going to build more schools, expand the existing infrastructure to abolish this dreaded obnoxious double track system. And still under education, for the colleges of education, we've told them that obnoxious licensure exams, we are cancelling it. We have also told them that the obnoxious mandatory national service for the teachers, we are cancelling it, because they already do national service, which is their mentorship, the practical work they do when they go to the field and teach in public schools for more than a year. We've said we will do same for the nursing trainees by giving them all automatic employment. The teacher trainees will have automatic employment. The nursing trainees will have automatic employment. So basically, these are the things that we're looking at under the education sector.
Okay, so now let's talk about corruption. I know it appears corruption has...
And is corruption the last one?
Okay, there are a few before we...
Right. Let's do corruption. And
sure. So we'll do corruption. Now, if you look at you in particular, I know corruption has been one of the issues you've spoken about many a times. Now, what are some of the steps that NDC is going to take to combat the corruption within government and even public institutions? Because the corruption within our public institutions today is something which is completely amazing. What will the NDC do different? How does the NDC really plan to ensure that there's transparency and accountability in governance?
You see, I am very passionate about corruption because corruption is a killer. Corruption destroys nation. For every 1 cedi someone steals, he deprives a child of a vaccine or a medication or of education. Monies that could have been used for benefit of the people being misappropriated, misapplied, stolen by a few people in government. It's just like killing. So corruption is serious. It's the bane of our country today, because we have a president who has turned himself into a corruption clearing agent, sees no evil, hears no evil when it comes to his corrupt officials, because he himself is corrupt. His vice president is corrupt, and we saw how the vice president aided a group of looters to steal our money in the PDS scandal. So that has been the problem. And the reason why corruption is thriving, if he's never been corrupt, how come that his director of administration today is being prosecuted by the special prosecutor for stealing rice? And that rice he stole on the letterhead of Bawumia and on behalf of Bawumia. And today, Bawumia says he's not aware, yet he has not had the courage to sack him. The director of administration is still working in his office.
Probably he's waiting for the, aftermath of the investigations.
How is that possible? That you yourself, you have acknowledged that the person wrote a letter on your letterhead to steal rice. You have acknowledged that, but that you were not aware. So why is this still working with you? Why must you wait for the court to determine that when you have agreed that the letter was written on your letterhead? So clearly he's complicit, and he's scared that if he fires him, the guy will spill the beans. So he's a very corrupt person. Why? If he's not corrupt, how come that in the PDS scandal he ordered for the condition precedent of a bank guarantee to be changed into an insurance guarantee, which aided those barbers to defraud us? Today, the electricity bills we pay to ECG over the 6 months period that they were in charge of the access of ECG, the money we pay to PDS, over 2 billion cedis. Where is the money? They have refused to refund it to us. How did that happen? Bawumia, he aided them, he abetted them, right? Was it not Bawumia that the Minister of State for Finance, Charles Adubuai, was captured on tape saying that if you're an investor and you have to go and see Bawumia, you have to pay $200,000? A whole Minister of State. You think that
he lost his job because they said it wasn't true? It was just an allegation.
He lost his job because he since found him out. His cover was blown. If that conversation had not been recorded, he would have been working today, and Bawumia would have been collecting the bribes. My brother, every liar is a corrupt person. If you can't speak the truth, then you lack integrity, and if you lack integrity, you are corrupt.
No, but
and Bawumia cannot speak the truth, and that is why he will commission Pualugu Dam and make all sort of noise about it, deceive the Nairi and the chiefs and people of the north that I'm bringing you the biggest dam in the history,
the largest investment
in the history of the north, close to $1 billion. Where is it? They said it's been more than 4 years now. Where is the dam? They have stolen $12 million, equivalent to over 170 million cedis. That is 1.7 trillion cedis. Where is the dam? Where is the dam? That is a question the people of the north must ask Bawumia, because the dam was going to be very useful and important, particularly for the farmers, as a source of irrigation. Where is the dam? $12 million gone down the drain, and he says what? He's not corrupt. He's more corrupt.
I have been at the side before, and then where they even cut the sword, the farmer who is using the place now for a pepper plantation spoke to me, and I have the pictures and videos.
Can you imagine?
Indicating that they had been given, they were given some receipts because they came to do some assessment, and then they gave them some receipts ever since. This is over 2-3 years ago, and they've not heard anything from the government again.
Exactly. So it is so sad that our country has sunk so low under these crooks, and it is a reason why we need to rally together. We need to stand up. We need to rise up.
Yeah, so
we need to ensure that we rescue our nation. Today, look at the juicy contracts which are being awarded to the brother of Bawumia. Left, right, center, against the laws of this country. Kuku road projects that the Auditor General says we didn't get any value for money from because the contracts were inflated. Airport projects that didn't go through any competitive bidding process. You understand? Giving to his brothers. They are the ones doing all the major road projects, airports here and there. Yet we heard what they said when they were in opposition. So look, you can't trust Bawumia. You trust him at your own peril. He can't fight corruption because he is himself corrupt. Neither can he prosecute Akufo-Addo because he is Akufo-Addo's poodle. He can't prosecute Ufuriata because they brought him. So the only way we can see real accountability, prosecution of corrupt government officials, whether they are NDC or NPP, retrieval of stolen funds and stolen assets, is when we vote for John Mahama. He has done it before, and he has done it. He will do it again. In the Jida matter, we saw what he did to his own friend. He allowed the prosecution of his own friend and appointee. The National Service scandal, he didn't spare anybody. Smarty scandal, Bas Brandon, he retrieved all those funds for the state, 3.6 million cedis. Under the Jida, he retrieved 50 million for us and prosecuted people. He did same in the National Service scandal. And so, if we want somebody who will come and jail these thieves and retrieve the monies they have stolen, which they are hiding under their beds. Not too long ago, we saw more than $1 million under the bed of a Minister of State who was in charge of Bola sanitation. Can you imagine? If the Bola minister has over $1 million under her bed, can you imagine the amount of money people like Kenu Furiata and Co have stashed under their beds? Can you imagine? So look, these guys are milking the state dry, the state coffers dry, and they came only to enrich themselves. They didn't come to build Ghana. John Mahama is coming to build the Ghana we want, and he is going to pursue them. We will leave no stone unturned. We will jail all those thieves. No one will be spared, and we will retrieve all those stolen funds. And if you are an NDC person and you engage in corruption, John Mahama will not clear you. He will not shield you. He has said that he will not be a corruption clearing agent. He will allow the laws to work. That is the only way we can deter people from engaging in
Sammy,
corruption.
because of your schedule, I want us to spend some time on agriculture. This is a farming community.
Okay.
If you can.
So the last one?
Yes, the last one.
Okay.
Then we can wrap up. Yes.
All right. So agric is going to be the cornerstone of our transformational agenda. President Mahama is very passionate about agriculture and agribusiness today. And the reason is that he is himself a farmer. His father, the late E.A. Mahama, was a great farmer.